Hey guys, welcome back to our podcast, Bold Face Friends. Once again, I'm one of your hosts, Penny.
Hi, I'm Kelsey. So this week, we will be kind of continuing on with our conversation from last week, and we'll kind of just be talking about ourselves and our lives outside of our differences, what we do for work, school. So I am in communications. I actually graduated last summer from the University of Calgary with my communications degree. And yeah.
That's so cool. For my job, we're actually in my office today because I couldn't film elsewhere. So I work from home for a large telecommunications company in Canada. I work to resolve customers' concerns through email or live chat, or I support other agents with questions and help. And I've been at this job actually 15 years. As of August 18th, I celebrated my 15th year at the same job, which I didn't think I would ever say, but yeah, here we are.
I remember that. That's amazing. Wow, 15 years.
Wow. Yep, 15. It feels both so short and so long.
Yeah. Wow. So like, I mean, last year I was hired by one of the communications media companies in Canada, and I worked on a 12-week contract as a communications assistant, and that was awesome and super fun. And now I actually just found out a couple months ago that I was accepted into a grad school program in BC, which is the province beside me. And yeah, so I'll be starting school in like just over a week, which is crazy. And I'll be doing a master's program in communication. So yeah, it's exciting, but I can't believe I'm going back to school like that.
That's so cool. Yeah, I haven't been in school. I graduated high school in 1999. So I've been out of school for quite a while. I did go to university here. I went to university at Wilfrid Laurier University here in Waterloo for I think I finished part of my third year. Yes, I didn't know what I was going to school for. I applied as a mature student, and I didn't end up finishing. I was going for cultural anthropology. I had plans, I had ideas, but life happens, unfortunately, and I didn't finish, and it's one of my regrets. So, yes, I didn't quite finish university, so I don't have any more educational plans going forward. But I'm so freaking proud of you, Kelsey, that you're going for your master's in British Columbia, no less. It's so awesome.
I'm so excited to move out to the island and to just be out by the water and nature and not
see snow for a while. Well, not as much snow.
Not as much snow, yeah. Not like here, where it will probably snow within a month we'll have snow. So That's not awesome. But
we're safe a little bit longer than that, but yeah, like I expect to see snow by the end of October.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. Like, sometimes we've gone until December without snow, but I mean, one year we had like a snow-tember, I think they call it, and we got it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it was wild. It was wild, but hopefully it will be nice and warm and sunny for a few more weeks at least. But it's you know what? It is September next week. September.
Yep. How did
we get to September?
I don't know. Like,
I mean,
this year.
What? I know. This year is just wow. But yeah. Anyway, I can't finish that. But yeah. I'm just I mean, I think some people know that I am also on the board of directors for the Molia Syndrome Foundation. I work for a few other organizations as well, like volunteer my time, obviously. And I mean, other than that, it's just like normal seeing friends when I can. I love to write, and I love a good book. Like, I love to read. I've always loved to read. So if anyone has any book recommendations, let me know. I love to read, and I kind of sound like a nerd right now, but yeah, I just try and keep myself busy with those volunteer things and yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't do as much volunteering these days as I used to. I was a volunteer at my local hospital for, I think it was about 10, 15 years as well. And I spent most of the time in our local emergency department, and I really enjoyed doing that. But again, unfortunately, life got in the way. So I can't currently do that right now. If I do a little bit of volunteering with About Face, an organization, nothing like formal or anything that way, but if they approach me and ask for my help with stuff, then absolutely I do it. But yeah, I don't do much. Being a caretaker for my mom definitely takes up the majority of any free time that I have. But I do love reading, even though I haven't read, I don't remember what. Well, no, I've read at least one book so far this year. I do a lot of painting. I like painting and artistic stuff. I love writing, but again, haven't done really a lot of writing lately. But yeah, just knitting. And again, haven't done any of my hobbies lately. I've just been way too tired. So, but yeah, hobbies: knitting, writing, reading, artwork. We're actually in my home office / art studio, which some of my paintings are over there. My bookshelf is over there. Hanging out with friends before COVID hit right now, because my mom is really susceptible to stuff. I can't go out and hang out with anybody because I don't know where they've been or who they've hung out with. So we've stuck to a house policy of nobody going anywhere and nobody hanging out with anybody. So we are self-isolating, and we are taking that pretty seriously. Yeah, so
that's good.
Don't do a whole lot. So this is like my socialization for the week. So I look forward to it.
Yay! Well, I'm glad you hung out with me because that's awesome. Also, this is okay. This right here is like another one of my hobbies. I would say not photography, but New York. I just want to tell you all, if you know me at all, you know that I am a big fan of New York City. And
just a little bit of it. Just a little bit.
Just love it. I have New York stuff everywhere. And I don't know why, I don't know how I got on to this, but I love New York. So if anyone knows of any job opportunities in New York City for a Canadian, hit me up. Because I would move to New York like tomorrow. I mean, maybe not right now with everything going on, but I was in New York in February, at the end of February, just before everything kind of started happening with COVID and stuff like that. So I'm glad that I got to go this year, and I'm glad that I went where I did, because everything else kind of got canceled. Yeah, I was supposed to have a bunch of other stuff this year, and everything got canceled, which like is understandable.
2020 got canceled. Like,
well,
cancel culture. 2020 is like canceled officially.
2020 is officially canceled. Like, we're just trying to get to the end of the year right now. So I mean, so another thing that I kind of thought of, this actually happened to me yesterday, I think, and I had an instance where the whole story is, I got out of my car and I went to the back. I was in a grocery store, so I went to the back to get like the reusable goods, and this kid was walking by with her mom, I assume, and he said hi to me, I don't know, and I was like, oh, hi. And then they were walking away, and I heard this kid say, like, oh, like, why does she look funny, or something like that. And it's just like, I don't know about you, but like, I just feel like when, and that is not the first time that has happened, and I guarantee it will not be the last, but I just feel like it's such, when something like that happens, it's like, it just hurts an end to your day as it was. Like, it was like a normal day, like whatever, and then someone says something, and it's like, oh, and then you think about it for the rest of the day, and it just, I guess my question for you is, like, when you go out of the house, or like, let's think before COVID times, do you feel like you kind of don't think about your differences until someone says something, and then someone says something, and you're like, oh, yeah, forgot about that. Or is it just something that you always think about?
I think as I get older, it's something I think about more, because I don't have as much patience as I may have had when I was younger. So when I was younger, and I know I'm not like, I know sometimes I speak and I'm like so much older. I'm not, I know that. But,
I know what you mean.
And I don't mean like our age, but I mean just in general. And I know I'm not old, so when I say when I was younger, and it just feels like a long time ago. But yeah, so when I was younger, I didn't think about it as much. It wasn't something where when I went out, I expected it to happen or whatever. I didn't think I looked different until I was made to look different.
Right.
But now as I get older and I go out, because it's been those experiences, over and over and over and over and over and over again, I'm hyper aware. So now I go out and I know what's going to happen. So I know I look different. I know that I'm going to have to deal with all of that and everything of that when I go out, whether it's and I still do kind of go out because my sister and I will have to go get prescriptions or go out and get dog food and stuff. So I'm not like holed up in my house fully. So I do have those interactions the few times that I go out.
Yeah.
And it's annoying is the least negative thing I can say about it without going into a rant. Yeah, it's something that gets thrown back at me at least once every time I go out. It's not like there's a time where it generally doesn't happen, whether I'm going on a bus to go to an appointment or going to the grocery store to get something, well, not grocery store, drugstore, anything. There's generally, I would say lately it's more kids. I don't get a whole lot of adults aren't as obvious. Like it does happen, but it's definitely more kids who will just stand there and stare. Like I'll be in line waiting to pay for something, and there'll be a kid there, and they'll just literally just stand there and stare, and I'm like, and to rein in what I want to say, because like I said, I don't have any patience for it anymore, and I just have to hold my tongue.
You know what, I don't know, I've never had patience for it, and especially like, okay, I promise I'm not gonna like get into this fully, but especially like when it's a kid, I get so annoyed and one time sometimes I just get super annoyed and I can't, like, I have to. One time I was like, there was this kid saying, and I was like, can I help you? Like, it's just like, so I know it's not, that's not nice.
Oh, sweetie, that's way more polite than when I say something, it's far less polite and not at all what I would probably want somebody to say to my kid. I've flat out flipped the kid a bird.
Amazing.
I've flat out told them to go bleep off. I love asking them if you can help them is probably not something that I have said. I've gone well beyond the
you know what? I can
well beyond
that. I know a lot of people watching and they're gonna be like, whatever. But like, if you have not experienced it, then you just don't.
It's one thing to, and I think you're right. So like, it's something that we deal with literally day in, day out, all day, every day. So it's not something that you can tell somebody, like, if you don't have a difference or you're not an ally of somebody with a difference, or and don't get me wrong, I love my allies, but even they, you're told by people who don't have a difference, especially those close to you, just ignore it. They don't need it. They're just kids. Grow a thicker skin. like, that's what, 5 things? Like, there's a
I
laundry list.
There are educators and ignorance and like, yeah, obviously, but like, that doesn't make it better.
No, and it doesn't excuse,
It
just
doesn't,
because it's a kid, or just because it's whatever, you can't excuse the behavior. Even if I understand where it's coming from, or even if I will forgive it, it doesn't excuse it. So I'm long past the point of being somebody's teachable moment, and it's my motto. And I know, you know, I've read a lot of your Facebook posts, and you're so sweet and you're so amazing, and I don't want to rub off on you, because how I deal with things is definitely a product of a lifelong struggle with self-esteem issues, a lifelong struggle with a home life that was different than most. It's a lot of things layered in, where I met my quota of, I can't deal with this, a lot sooner than a lot of people, and I know a lot of people in the facial difference community don't feel the same way. They're more than happy to talk to the little kids and have the conversation with the kid and want the questions and all of that. And I'm not that person. So I hope our viewers understand that you're going to get a wide range of perspectives from anybody in any marginalized society. And I won't be that for your child. I won't be the nice, friendly person.
But you don't, like, but you don't, okay, what I'm going to say is, like, you don't have to, and you don't. And I think that for me, there are, like, two, there are, like, you know what, I'm sorry that this has kind of gotten off track, but now I'm into it, so I have to talk about it. I feel like there's two, like, you either don't want the questions, like, you don't, like, you just kind of are over it, or you are like, oh no, I'm, like, education and awareness and stuff like that. I'm kind of in the middle. Some days I am completely like, don't look at me, don't talk to me, ask me a question and you're gonna get a really an answer that you probably are not expecting. Or like, and some days I'm like, no, you know what? It's important to raise awareness. Most days it's important to raise awareness, like stuff like that. But when you have gone your whole life, daily, every single day of your life, having people like stare or comment or question or disregard you completely, like it really takes a toll. And I don't think that if you don't have a difference, then you just can't possibly understand. And I mean, I would never try and understand something that I am not, something I don't have. I think that it's just something that you don't get if you haven't gone through it. And I have a lot of amazing friends and supports and stuff like that, but as I have said in the past, I love my friends and the people who support me, but even they just, if you have not walked in my shoes, there's no possible way to fully, I mean, my friends, they understand, they know what I've dealt with, but unless you deal with it yourself, you cannot fully understand what it.
Can I ask a question along this line, since like you said, we've gone on this track. Let's just go down it.
Let's go with it now.
Right now, have you, when I go out with my friends, and I think the first few times where I've gone out with people who are friends, but we were never really hung out before, and we go out for the first few times, and my experience with them is always kind of weird and oddly enlightening, because I think they hear me talk about how I had to deal with this and how I'm frustrated and whatever, but I don't think they don't get it until they come out with me, and then they see it. So I find that if I'm with a friend or my sister, I think my brain goes into like safe mode. Like, I don't need to be aware of what's going on. I have my rock with me. So I'm not as hyper aware or vigilant, and my brain can just shut off. So when I'm with somebody who hasn't been out with me before, they're more likely to notice something before I do. And it's really, like I said, oddly enlightening and satisfying to have that light turn on in their head. They're like, oh, like for them to see it firsthand. Have you had those experiences with your friends where they have that light turn on?
I think, I mean, I can't like say for sure, but I definitely do think that they definitely see like the, like if a kid is staring, or like, I think the main thing is like when we're at like a restaurant or something, and I go to order something and they still like understand and whatever, like I think then people really are like, oh, okay, like this is a thing. And I know like some of my friends have said it, like when we go out, they're like, wow, like I didn't realize that like this is what you dealt with, but so yeah, so I guess like they see it, and they kind of then understand like, oh, okay, like you're not just making it up or making a bigger thing out of it than it really is. And I mean, I don't think my friends really would say anything to me, like if they notice something, because they wouldn't, I don't think they would want to like call it out and like make it more awkward. But I definitely think that whenever I'm out with people, they see the struggle and how like how can you not, basically. And I think in that same vein, I think like I'm very open on social media, and I post a lot about the stuff that happens to me. I post a lot about it on like Facebook and stuff like that. So I think that people see that, like all of my friends see that, and then they consistently are like, either like, I have no idea that like you have to deal with this so often, or like, I can't believe you have to deal with that. I'm sorry you have to deal with that. Sometimes parents will comment and they'll say like, I read this post to my kids, or I told my kids, or like, thank you for trying to educate, so it's like, I think that is a form of education as well. And if that's, it's not always easy to post about, but I think that it kind of opens people's eyes, and they can say like, wow, I had no idea. I didn't know that people actually had to deal with this. So, I don't know if that really answers your question, but
no, yeah, I think it does. And if I was to ask you a follow-up question, kind of to tie it back to what we were talking about earlier. So you're going to get your master's in communication.
mm-hmm.
So is like your career goal kind of tied to kind of having a life beyond your difference, or do you see yourself dealing in communication with facial differences, or like what is your ultimate, like your career goal kind of thing?
That's a good question. I think it's kind of both. I think it's to show people with differences and without that you can go, just because you have a difference doesn't mean that you can't go further and you can't excel and you can, like you can't go forward. And but not only, I mean, it's not as much that as it is, I want to accelerate myself and grow as because I've always been into communications, because I've always loved to write and read, and I've like social media, like my jam, whatever. So I've always been, communications and journalism has always been kind of my career path. And but so yes, I want to like inspire and like show people that you can go for it, but I also, it's more for myself and to like grow myself, and I'm really, whenever anyone asks like what's your 5-year plan or what are your career goals, it's, I want to work for a nonprofit, not necessarily, I mean, I would love, okay, so a nonprofit, that's one thing, but I would ultimately love to work for an organization that helps people with not only facial difference, but like any disability. So like About Face here in Canada, or My Face in the US, or Face Equality International, or even like Special Olympics or Easter Seals, or like any of those organizations that help people with disabilities, because not only can I identify with the population that they serve,
Yeah.
I also think that it would be like a more inclusive work environment, because like these are the people that they work with. So I really hope that, because my program is in intercultural and international communication, so I really hope that I can work internationally for a organization that serves people with disabilities and helps them, and I want to be an advocate. So yeah, I think I see myself more in the disability nonprofit advocacy sector than I do like corporate communications, or like stuff like that. I mean, obviously I haven't ruled anything out, but I would love definitely to work with organizations that help people, and so that's, I mean, who knows where life will go, but that's kind of always been my goal, and I think that it's more fulfilling, I'd say, to
Yeah.
work for organizations like that. So
Yeah, for sure.
So I mean, hopefully that kind of answers the question too. I don't know like for sure where, again, I'm gonna go, but Yeah. So kind of in the same vein, I'm gonna ask, like, what, when you were younger, what do you wish you knew when you were younger about how your life is now? Like, if you could go back, if you could go back 20 years and talk to yourself, and what would you say? What would you want younger you to know?
I would say have more fun, because your life is going to nosedive when you hit 2013. Your world is going to go in two totally different opposite directions by the year's end. So I would tell my younger self, it has nothing to do with my difference.
Mm-hmm.
It's just have more fun. I don't think I was in school 20 years ago. I think I graduated more than 25 years ago. So 20 years ago, it would just be let loose, have more fun, go out more. Don't worry about what your mother don't worry about what your mother thinks, and she's not your boss anymore. Just invest in yourself, find what you want to do, and either go back to school or whatever that was. I would just, I would tell my younger self to have more fun, don't care about things so much, and save money. Like, just save all the money you can save.
Wow.
So, yeah. How about you?
I think the biggest thing I think I would want to tell myself is just that don't worry so much about what other people think or say, because in the end, like, that doesn't like define you. And also, I think more than that, I would say, like, so 20 years ago I was 9, almost 10. Wow. I would tell myself that just because you have a difference, just because you have this, like, doesn't mean that you'll never go anywhere and you'll never, like, amount to anything. Because when I was, like, 15, 16, 17, 18, I definitely felt like that, and I felt like I would never be able to get a job or go to school or anything like that, because, like, just because of my difference. So, but now I look back on it and I'm like, wow, like, look at all the stuff that I've done since then. So, and I just wish I could tell myself to do better, like, do better in high school, because I did not. My high school days were not good.
I did well academically, and I enjoyed going to school and learning. I didn't enjoy the rest of high school. So other than focusing on schoolwork, which is what I did, I hated high school. I would never go back to high school ever again.
Oh my God, you could not pay me. I think that it came down to, like, just
self-esteem.
Well, yeah, and like self-awareness, and like,
I
just, like, did not. I hate it. I just hate going to school, and it wasn't like I like to learn too, and I like to, do my work and stuff like that, but I guess I just could not deal with the people and like, I just hate that. And
I didn't have any friends at all I can't say at all. I had a few friends throughout my school year, from kindergarten to high school graduation. I could probably count on one hand how many like really good friends I had.
Yeah.
And of them, I think I would say only one is somebody I'm still friends with that I hang out with on a regular basis. Pre-COVID, was somebody that I hung out with, and we still text and we still hang out. And but yeah, I hated high school for reasons outside academia.
Oh yeah.
The schoolwork was fine. It was not having friends and not, doing all the stereotypical high school stuff, like
the parties and stuff like that.
Yeah, there was no guys that were interested in me, and not saying that I would have been interested in them or that I would have cared, but I think I did, because that's what my sister was into, and joking about boys and talking to boys and stuff like that. But it was never a thing that I got to do. I didn't have the girlfriends who we would chit chat with or laugh about or anything like that. And I definitely didn't get any guys wanting to like date me or anything. There was no way in heck.
No way in heck. Yeah, I know. I feel that. Like I absolutely feel that. And people like friends of mine talk about all the guys they dated and slept with them when they were in high school, and I'm like, well, cannot relate. But so I grew up in a small town, and I went to school from kindergarten to ECS, whatever they call it now, to grade 8 in the small town. And
was it just the one school for that, or did you go like K to grade 6 and then 7, 8 in another school?
No, so it was like K to 5.
Oh.
6 to 8. So like elementary, middle, and then high school. But when I hit grade 9, I'm not gonna get into this, but my parents sent me to like a private school, and that was like, that was one of the worst school experiences of my life. It was not good. And then so I did a year there. It was awful. And then I went to high school in the city. So I started grade 10 at this high school. So the high school is grade 10 to 12. So it's like everyone knew anyway. But most people went to the same middle school. So it was like a junior high, whatever they call it. And so most people that knew each other, they had their friends, whatever. I honestly did not have a single friend until grade 12. And in grade 12, in my English class, I actually met my one of my best friends now. That's when I met her. So and then like her friend group and stuff like that, and so that's how I know them now, and we're still friends. But before that, I remember walking down the hall one day. I was like in grade 10, probably, maybe 11, and I'm walking with the vice principal or something. I don't know why, I don't remember, but she was like, oh, like, who are you, like, tell me about your friends. And I was like, what? I didn't want to be like, oh, I don't have any friends, because I'm sound like a but I was like, oh, well, I don't know, like, there's a couple. And she's like, oh, well, you must have, like, friends in your classes, like, at least some people. And I was like, yeah, sure, okay, let's go with that. But like, yeah, no, I did not have a single friend until 12. And that's pretty sad, but that's how it was. And so, that's why I didn't go. That's why I hated going to school, and like it was just it was awful. So yeah, I mean
I went to a lot of different schools.
oh,
We moved around a lot,
oh,
and that's a whole other story that I won't get into. But yeah, so I went. I thankfully only went to one high school, but I went to so suddenly like 4 or 5 elementary schools. So you're here in Ontario, it goes from because when I went to school, we didn't have JK or SK. So you just went to kindergarten to grade 6, and then grade 7 and 8 was one school, and then high school, grade 9 to grade 12. And then we had OAC, so grade 13.
right.
And so I went, kindergarten to grade 6, I was at a different school pretty much every year. And then grade 7 and 8, it was the same school just for the 2 years. And then in high school in grade 9, we actually moved out of the area. So I technically should have went to a different school, but my mom was like, no. So she fought for us to stay in. I don't know why, because, making more for Crystal. I know they did it for me, but I think it benefited my sister more than it did me, which I'm thankful for. I'm awesome that it happened that way, because she was able to get friends and have friends, because she also didn't, I know I didn't have a lot of friends or anything like that, and she didn't either. So I know a lot of mine was because I was different. I don't know why she didn't have any. I don't know if it's because of me or whatever, but we both had shitty school experiences. But high school, she actually did develop some friendships. So when we moved in the end of grade 9, my mom fought for us to stay in that high school. So we had a bus from one area of town back to this high school. And so that was and we did that for all of grade 10, all of grade 11, and all of grade 12. So 3 years we had a bus to this other high school. So, but yeah, I went to a lot of different schools. So I was always the new kid with a difference. That doesn't play well on a playground.
Yeah, no.
So, I have my sister who's 2 years older than me. That they kept her back a year. So we actually were only 1 year apart in school, which worked out really well for me. So you didn't have any siblings that are because your sister's what, 2 years?
I have 2 sisters.
Yeah.
So one of them is, my sister Jamie is 3 years, yes. She's 3 years older than me.
Okay.
So when I was in kindergarten, grade 1 and 2, I think when I was in grade 2, she was, I think when I was in grade 2, she was in grade 5. So we were at the same school. And then when I went into grade 3, it was either 3 or 4. She went to middle school, which was 6, 7, 8. So I had her in my elementary school for a couple years, but then not in middle or high school. I didn't go to the same high school anymore. And then my older sister is 5 years older than me. So when I started at elementary school, when we moved,
She was finishing.
She went into middle school, so she started in 6th. And so I was never in the same school with her, but my middle sister, I was she again was in grade 5 when I was in grade I want to say grade 2, but maybe, yeah, it must have been. Anyway, so I was in the same school with her for a couple years, but I mean, like, I do remember instances, like, at recess and stuff, when she would, stick up for me and stuff, but other than that, like, I don't remember having a lot of, like, contact with her at school, and then again, she went to middle school, and I was still in elementary school, so I was kind of, but the thing is, like, so we moved up to a small town when I was, 6, 5, 5, and then, I started, like, kindergarten, and so, and then, like, kindergarten, elementary school, middle school, so I went to school with the same people with the same kids for 8 years, basically. I mean, in middle school, like, there were some new kids, but for the most part, like, it was the same kids that I went to school with for 8 years. And so they kind of just all knew me, and it was like, it was a small town, so everyone kind of knew each other, and so I feel like there were cases of, like, kind of bullying, I guess, at some point, but not like overtly, because again, like, we all just kind of knew each other, so it was never like, I was never like the new team, I guess, and I was just who I was to them because
Yeah.
we grew up together. So I guess that was good, and I think that's kind of part of the reason my parents decided to move out to this small town. So yeah, I mean, obviously, like, sometimes people won't say something in passing, but it was never like, I never really felt bullied or anything like that. Again, because I knew everyone for years. So, but then, like, grade 9 in high school was completely different ballgame. So that was not a great time in my life, but yeah. So
So you tell your younger self to just chill and not try not to let it bother you, but maybe find some passion that you can focus on instead of the poop that's going on.
Like, find a passion, especially in high school, and like, I think go join, like, a club or join soccer, and like, put yourself out there more, and also, like, just do better in school, because my high school grades were crap, not because I didn't, like, know how to do the work, but because I never went to class, because I didn't want to be there. So, and that really affected me for the future opportunities, like, with getting into college and university, like, stuff like that. And I wanted to go into the medical field, and I did not have the grades or the science classes to do that. So, I would say, like, just apply yourself in high school, and because nothing else matters. As soon as you're done with high school, like, it's done, and like, no one really cares about high school anymore. So yeah, I think that's what ultimately, like, that would be my advice to myself. So so I think we're almost at the hour, so we should probably wrap it up. And so I just thank you again to everyone for watching, and for being part of this journey with us. We love sharing our stories with you. So we will be back next week with a new episode. And we will try and stay on track. No.
Hey, it's a podcast. They know what they're getting into.
Exactly. Yeah, that kind of went off in the connection, but it's good. I love having these conversations with you, and I just love sometimes your perspective is a lot different than mine, but sometimes it's the exact same. So that's why I love what we're doing.
I like it, and I like that we're hopefully building a community. And if you haven't, please like, subscribe, comment. We post the links to our Facebook page, so please join us there. Join the discussion.
Yeah.
And yeah. So again, if there's something specific that you want to hear us talk about, please let us know. We're happy to take suggestions. Kelsey is definitely still looking for book recommendations, so please put those in the comments as well.
I lost the book recommendations. I need some. So yeah, let me know. Yeah, so anyway, thank you again to everyone, and thank you to Penny for being here.
Thank you, Kelsey.
So, yeah, thank you all, and we will see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.